Ladies and gentlemen, it takes a lot of stomach to realize when one has made a mistake. A mistake that has not cost him gravely, but has definitely caused some slight problems. I should be a little bit more for what I mean. See, I didn't understand the brilliance of Kyoto Animation when they did Full Metal Panic Second Raid. What they were trying to do with these new additions, these new characters, and everything. I didn't fully understand until I reread Volume 5 of the light novel. Now, this is not to say this light novel is bad or anything, by any means. It's actually fairly good. It's a very quick read. However, Full Metal Panic Second Raid is superior to its counterparts. I would argue, well, Volume 4, I'm not 100%. It's been a while since I've watched it, but for the most part, I mean, especially with Volume 5, it is definitely superior. Could they have changed a few things? Obviously, yes. Such as, one thing I'll make mention of, because this is going to kind of be a little bit of an anime wrapped up, but they could have made it so, like, in the beginning of the series, how the two men that betrayed, like in the light novel, they make it a serious business that they betrayed. They could have said, like, well, we're still investigating the incident, and then like Vincent Bruno was someone that was working with them, and that's who provided the detail. They could have, like, so they hadn't figured out who the leaker was who got the information to Agamemnon. They could have done that. There's some simple changes, and in Volume 5, there's a couple of, I would say, some parts that they could have made it a little bit better known. Right after Clouseau and Sasuke fight, there's a fairly decent portion of talking between Tessa, Marmaduke, and also Callahan about the test, why they did everything. It's a fairly decent subject, and there's also a little bit about the T99 drug, what the side effects, which are similar to what would happen to the user of the Behemoth. So simple things like that. There's also at the very end when Sasuke is rescued by Kamina. His little inner monologue is something nice that it's definitely worth reading. It kind of gives a little bit more insight to Sasuke's, kind of more into his psyche, how he kind of basically broke down. However, with that said, the anime was better, and let's see. Make sure. Okay. So, what did the anime do better? Well, for starters, the three characters, Gates and the two sisters, in the light novel, there are different characters. One of the sisters are replaced by brothers, and Gates is replaced by Mr. K, Kalinium, like another metal person. They're very short, and it doesn't like they just come and go, essentially. They don't like add any flavor value. So those at the Kyoto Animation and, working with the author, decide to expand on it. First off, they gave us the fan service of the young ladies. And then they also gave Gates, who is a lot more personality. They expanded lore, and it's actually a lot better. Another addition, Sosuke meaning the prostitute, that's also an addition as well. So overall, they make it a better experience. They extrapolate some things, extend things out to make it a lot better. So it's kind of weird to say, but yeah, the light novel is not in light novel comparison to anime. The anime just does the source material a lot better justice. They expand upon everything. Now there's still absolutely some good parts, like I said, the inner monologue, the part with the training. There's a little bit extra stuff like that. Additionally, Volume 5's artwork is really good, like the cover. You see Chidori here in the empty apartment. This part, like Sosuke just dead red eyes, and then Kamina all kind of beat up and scratched up, is also a good moment. So there's a lot of good artwork, and the arbalist in the background as well. I'd probably say the weakest part is the Teth Leonard. He's probably about the weakest part. There's also another good moment which I'll show. When Garon talks about Kashim, kind of their interaction as a kid, the black and white is really exceptional. So overall, I mean, both have their good points, but if you gotta choose between the one and the other, the anime is superior. That being said, the light novel has a lot more source material. It's technically cheaper if you decide to go to Kindle edition, and you also get Volume 6 with the big ass collection, which the anime, you're depending on how much you want to spend, between 40 to 20, 23, give or take Amazon, depending on where you can find it. And then the light novel is 30 currently, but that could be different elsewhere. So it's kind of like pick your poison. Light novels are going to have a lot more inner details, and then the anime is just high quality artwork of just works of art, chef's kiss. I was really surprised. I wasn't. I mean, when I was seeing the light novel, I'm like, okay, there's a little, it's a bit of truth there, but I mean, for the most part, it is accurate to the anime. Got it down. They just add a little extra stuff to make it a little worth watching, along with that gorgeous, beautiful animation. So yeah, it was a big shocker. Like I said, light novel still go. It's a fast read and everything. There is one thing that it needs to be mentioned that will pave him over to Volume 6, and that's the word Battleum. When Sosuke asks Garon about the location of Agamemnon, he mentions that word, and it's like no more, essentially. Another big difference, Garon's a lot worse shape than he looks, and the two brothers, their death is really brutal. The younger brother who attempts to kill kill Kamina, his neck does get crushed, but then his body just there's a giant hole. It's being blown up, and then later when Mr. K confronts the older brother, the one who's rampaging in Hong Kong, he holds up his dead head and just like kind of tosses it away, essentially. But that fight is so uneventful in the light novel, and the anime is like just a lot more like, Gates' performance and everything is just so much better. Like, I'm just sorry, light novel's still good, and if you got the big collection, if you got the big collection, there's nothing wrong with it, and you get a lot more material and everything. It all works perfectly out. But if you may just go on anime only first, or if you're trying to choose between the two, like what would be better consumption between the two, light novel does better. Now I do want to show, like I said, show you one little aspect. See if I can position these right. Let's get a little full more camera. Oh no. There you go. Come on. Let's see. Okay. All right. That should be a good shot. That's a really good shot of both Kashim and Garon, and you can tell like Kashim's like young innocent eyes. It's a good shot. I like it. Light novel's got some very good. It's got some very good good artwork. But yeah, so overall, I mean, I like the light novel, but if I had to choose between the two, if I'm just like, which one's better, it's gonna be the anime. The anime does Volume 4 and 5 really good. They add a little extra, and like I said in the previous aspect, when in after the end of the chapter, at the end of the chapter 13, when you see the sister get broken up and just her dying and not being able to see her brother, like that was such a satisfying moment because you hate them. It's like whether you're like, oh, these characters aren't in there, or they're just so evil. Like, man, I want these girls to die. It feels so satisfying and rewarding. And Gates has just got enough presence to like you just like him, and like, oh, the guy died. I was hoping he stuck around. I like him more than Garon, to be honest. He's a lot more entertaining. But with that, I've rambled long enough. Volume 5, still very solid. The collection is still really good. But I gotta admit, Kyoto just spank it. Anyway, hopefully you have a wonderful day. A great Friday. I didn't think I was going to be able to get this out on time, but I just plowed through and got it done. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time for Volume 6. That's not going to happen on Monday. That's going to probably have to be a Wednesday video for reasons. And I got I'm going out of town tomorrow. So, but you don't need to hear that. Anyway, just have a great Friday. Good Friday. For those who affected by Charlie Kirkland's death, hopefully you can find some peace and everything, and for the family as well. Hopefully you survive. There's a lot of people who are supporting you, and I don't try to talk about politics, although it's pretty obvious what I lean to. But it is a tragic death, and I hope everyone's okay. God may God give you grace and help and strength. Anyway, see you guys next time.